Good day, everyone, and welcome to another epic episode. Welcome to Nizaluchi, a political media channel that talks about politics. I welcome you to please join me as we'll be having this great topic about the greatest politician of all time. So, who is your best politician of all time? I mean, I was watching this interview of Nota Baloyi. So, you know Nota Baloyi, right? It's a very interesting guy. Yeah, very smart guy. Yeah, what I like about him is that he always bring in that new element, that fresh element, right? When he reasons, brings something different that many of us we never thought about. So he has some very interesting views. So there's something that he said there about Jacob Zuma on terms of his influence. So the video that you just saw, that video is the incoming ANC treasurer of Johannesburg, right, who was singing, shaking people about Jacob Zuma's famous song of Umshini wami, Umshini wami, awulethe Umshini wami. Yeah, ne? I did tell you that the Zuma effect, it is still there pretty much in the ANC, and it is eating the ANC up, right? So a lot of ANC members, not all of them are angry with Jacob Zuma, and not all of them, they hate the man of establishing umkhonto wesizwe. There are so many Zuma loyalists there in in the ANC, and you can even tell with the effects, right? It is so funny because the last time someone tried to start this song, the song, it was this song that says Wenzeni uZuma. This happened to them.
On behalf of all of you as participants, to come and hand over the petition to the SG. Wenzeni uZuma, Wenzeni uZuma,
celebrate manje sokhulumeni lokubhala. Unity my artist ixesha.
So now in that video that you saw, it was pretty much interesting just seeing the whole hall just participating and singing the song of Umshini wami, and you can tell that they were enjoying it somewhere, smiling somewhere, happy, and you can tell that Jacob Zuma effect, it is still there. I mean, Jacob Zuma was one of the guys who just came early in our politics, right? Remember that he joined the ANC while he was still very young, on the very tender age. Then he joined the ANC, and he normally says it that he was even arrested more than 10 years. He was there in a Robben Island for the sake of fighting for the freedom, and the apartheid government has put him behind bars, right? So not all the people there in the ANC seems to hate the man. Seems like others, they still appreciate his contribution towards the struggle and what the ANC has become. And I always told those who watch my videos to say that a lot of people there in the ANC are still the staunch followers of Jacob Zuma, and those people it turns out to be in other instances that they are the ones who come first to vote secretly for another political party called the MK, right? Because you can tell that there are people who are still wearing that ANC regalia and ANC colors, but who don't mind Umsholozi. But you will understand, Jacob Zuma was their president for the longest of time, right? And before we go to what Nota said, I want us to look at the influence of Jacob Zuma, that it exerts in influence even outside now of the ANC, even outside the country. Let's look at what was happening there in Eswatini.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed the arrival of the former President of the Republic of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma. Welcome, Your Excellency.
So that was the warmest welcome that Jacob Zuma was shown, that had people there in Eswatini singing, welcoming him, right? This was the time when he visited. There was an event there in King Mswati, right? So Jacob Zuma went there for the celebration, and people there were singing, highly singing. Umshini wami. It more like the Umshini wami has become like the national anthem, right, of Jacob Zuma. Let me put it like that. Not of South Africa, but of Jacob Zuma. Seems like a lot of people, when they want to show him their deepest appreciation, they just sing the song, right? And they know that this is one of his favorites, right? After each and every event that the MK party hosted, Jacob Zuma, after that event, they will always call to say, sing for us that song, Umshini wami. And I think that is what now the people, even those that are in the ANC, they understand and they remember him for. So let's go to what Nota said, because Nota said something when he was invited to this other podcast, whereby the presenter there was just making some similarities between Jacob Zuma and Julius Malema. One thing I would say about these two great politicians is, I'm allowed to say that. Remember, I'm neutral in all of these. I'm not taking side, but I'm just acknowledging the influence of the men. So the host there said something very interesting to say, who is now the bigger or the best politicians that we have here? But Nota said something very, very powerful, very powerful. He said, you can't compare the freedom fighter and the politicians. Those two are different, right? And I was like, wow, that was so powerful. Let us watch this argument here.
Julius has never lived and worked as a real youth. That's why he doesn't know the price of bread.
You know, when Julius was
I'm just saying, he doesn't know the price of bread. Forget that Julius was groomed from the time they found him when he was in high school. Julius is mentored by Malema Motlanthe. This is part of the succession plan, the same way Thabo Mbeki groomed Mbuyiseni Ndlozi.
You know, Julius is the greatest politician of our time.
No.
In his generation.
No.
No one surpasses Julius.
No.
Who would be better than Julius?
Just wait and see.
No.
You'll
Who would be better than Julius?
No, he's not.
Okay. Let's get back to.
He's not. He can't be.
No, he has to be.
He can't be.
But look,
he can't be greater than Zuma.
No, of course. I mean, that is of a different generation.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What has Julius done that Zuma hasn't done? Nothing.
You see, now it's unfair.
But Zuma's done a lot that Julius hasn't done. The man he came out of prison, led the ANC into negotiations, led the province, came into the top executives of the NEC, went up to deputy presidency, competed against one of the most, mythological figures in the ANC. Dynastic. Broke the dynasty of the Mbekis. Do you understand that? Do you remember what an earthquake Polokwane was? Polokwane changed the ANC forever. Completely. Changed South Africa forever. Completely. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah. The mere fact that we're not all indoctrinated by neoliberal, policy, whatever, is because we saw the alternative. And that was only because of Zuma. And the rest of the world where we could look at the alternative was sanctioned or censored. So you can never compare. Can never compare.
But then you agree with me.
What?
Julius, for example, would say Julius could not have, in his words, he says, history did not allow me.
Let me tell you
Biologically,
something.
it was impossible for
Julius
him
Malema
to
would
be
not
in
be
exile.
Julius Malema without Jacob Zuma.
True story.
Jacob Zuma would still be Jacob Zuma with or without Julius Malema.
Because they lived in different times.
It's not about the different times. They're occupying right now, the current time. Everything they've done in the same timeline. When Jacob Zuma was in KZN, this guy was in Limpopo as a student. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah, organizing strikes for TEFSA. You understand what I'm saying?
Generations.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, organizing those TEFSA strikes. I used to watch those TEFSA strikes because my sister was studying in TNG.
Uh-huh.
You understand? So I know that. That's like what? Late 90s. They were still politically active within the same dispensation. Let's talk about when they were politicians. When did Zuma become a politician? In 1994. Or in 1990, let's say. When the ANC became unbanned, he became a politician. You could say the same. Julius then became a politician when? In the early 90s as well. So, as politicians, their careers are not, there isn't a 10-year age gap. In terms of their careers as politicians.
I'm not going to argue this one because it's apples and oranges.
You can't compare a freedom fighter to a politician. Otherwise, we're going to say, okay, but Steve Biko is the greatest politician because he's not alive, but his ideas still live on today. Was Steve Biko a politician? Come on.
So whether you're an NC member or MKP member or EFF member or DA member, just leave your comment on the section below. I'm interested to hear about what do you understand to be your greatest politician, and what is the role of Jacob Zuma to South African politics, right? Because I know a lot of people will rush to the comment sections to say that he's corrupt, even though he was never convicted, or no one even ever came up with the proof that he stole this much or taken this much, right? So this is the argument of another day. But I understand something to say that Jacob Zuma has gotten a lot of respect from very big names in South Africa, especially those top politicians like the likes of our Bheki. There's something that Bheki said when he did go there to visit the Sizwe Mpofu's show, right? He said that he understood that there are three most influential people here in South Africa, which number one is the late King Zwelithini. Said that that person was very influential, especially to the side of KZN, to the Zulus. He was very, very influential. And he said that the second person that was so that had that much influence there was Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Said Mangosuthu Buthelezi was also very, very influential when it comes to the dispensation of the Zulu nation. He was very, very total influential. Then he said that that person that was fully now and knew that he also exerted the same influence was Jacob Zuma, especially to the Zulu nation, to say that Jacob Zuma was very, very influential, especially when it comes even to the politics of South Africa. That's why so many people hate him, and that is why so many people love him. But you know, it is said that he is not money that all people can love him. Same goes with Julius, same goes with Steenhuisen, same goes with Helen Zille and others, right? Always politicians will have the likes and the dislikes. Like we podcasters, sometimes we have the likes and the dislikes. So it is nothing new. When even you are a person, you individual, we have those who like you and those who don't like you. So every opinion is respected and it is open. Let us hear, who is your favorite politician? Please don't forget you can subscribe to this channel and you can leave your comment on the section below until we meet on the next video. And I'm out.